40 years of its existence, the company has established a presence across all sectors of the Nigerian economy, across all the states of Nigeria, and in several countries in Africa and Europe. Wherever you see the GT brand, you see innovation, excellent service, commitment to its customers, and a passion for excellence. That's why the company has stood out as one of the premier financial services conglomerate since it was first listed on the exchange almost 30 years ago. The GTCO group is here to present the facts behind the offer that it is bringing to the market. Ordinarily, I would say that GTCO Holding does not have to broadcast why its offer is a good buy, given the ample rewards that astute investors who invested in its earlier offers have enjoyed over the years in form of regular dividends and capital appreciation. But this is a company whose board and management is always thorough, and so they are not just relying on their history to market this offer. They are here to show through facts and figures that the future is even brighter for the group, and the wise shareholders who decide to invest in the current offer will definitely thank us for this occasion.
This is how we look at our business operation, and it's worked very well for us. And a lot of the results you'll see is because we have split the businesses, which allows us to dive. If you look at Nigeria, Nigeria is 77% of group profit, and profit last year grew by 162%. West Africa is 17% of group profit and growing very strongly. East Africa, which is part of where we think we need to knuckle down a bit more, is 2.3% of group profit. UK is 1.9% of group profit. And the three businesses we bought are 1%. Most people say 1% is small, but when you live in a guaranteed trust type profitability, 1% is actually a lot of money to have achieved in 1.5 years. So we're very proud of the new businesses. All the balance sheets are strong. We have always tried to maximize shareholder value. In Nigeria, the ROE is about 48%. In West Africa, the ROE is 51%. In East Africa, the ROE is 20%. In UK, the ROE is 35%, which is very unusual for a developed economy. And all the new businesses are all doing very, very well in terms of ROE. So I think we have a business model that has always rewarded the people who have taken a chance on us who are the shareholders. The summary of the offer. Well, I've heard different things. People have told me we were going to raise $750 million. I laughed. They said we were going to raise 500 billion naira. I laughed. What we are going to raise, we're going to issue about 9 billion shares, which means we're only going to raise about 400 billion. I think the exchange has been kind enough to approve us at 44.5. We really think we've given a deep discount. For a bank that's trading at 1x book, we think this is a great price. We also don't like to cheat people. Anything you do, you must leave some money on the table, but let's not leave enough money where we hurt our own selves. We're going to try and finish this offer by the first week in August. We have these great issuing houses, Stanbic, ABSA, FCMB, Vertiva. They've put up with all our madness, so I'd like to thank them a lot. I think I've spent time telling you what the use of proceeds are, but we'll break it down for you a bit more. But what I said to you will give you even more color. Branch expansion is about 138 billion, but not branch expansion in Nigeria alone. I think you're going to see us branch out very aggressively in Nigeria, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Kenya. Then in terms of technology, I told you we're changing our software. We're changing our hardware. That will be about 98 billion. And working capital for all these great industries will be about 133 billion, which will give the bank about 370, and the rest will put in our war chest for the PFA acquisition.
Now we are coming to 9 billion adding in what we have on issue shares. Are we resuming to pay bonus? Because a lot of people that are going to GT Bank at that time was, this bank issue bonus. It's the third things that work in the market: capital appreciation and the dividend and bonus. A lot of people go to the market because of the bonus to increase their holding and get more money. So are we now resuming to pay bonus issues? which is called street issue, if we, after raising this capital we're talking about.
I also like your approach in terms of being bullish. Oh, are we going to go to West Africa? We're going to go to East Africa. I didn't hear you raise any country in Southern Africa or Northern Africa, even when they have the population and they have the growth of some of the things that you talked about. So I'll be interested why it is so. But much more importantly, you're also silent on the risk. Because one major concern that we'll have seen in Ghana is that once Nigeria made Ghana an annex, everybody in Ghana carried shotgun. What are the protection that you're also going to put in East Africa and other West African countries so that risk will be minimal should they decide to throw their eggs up?
Expansion. South Africa. So South Africa is a mature market. All the South African companies that are making money are making them from Nigeria. So I'm not going to go to South Africa to look to make money when they are coming here to make money. So I really am not interested in South Africa. I operate within what I consider growth economies, growing, not mature. I'm not going into any mature economy with all due respect. Ghana risk, yes, Ghana has risk. But Ghana is also an extremely profitable market. And if I showed you the contribution from West Africa to group, it was 17%. Most of that is actually Ghana. So while we are very quick to throw stones at Ghana, Ghana has a lot of potential. Yes, it hasn't been perfect. We all had to provide for some of the government debt. But, you know, that's the danger with operating in emerging economies. You learn how to maneuver them. You learn how to make the risk. Maybe you make money for 10 years. You throw a little bit of money 1 year. You make money for the next 10 years. If not, you cannot operate in emerging markets. So I still like Ghana.
The journey with GTB, I really just want to acknowledge how very supportive a partner they have been. I'm glad that when Segun spoke earlier, I spoke about how hard and how tough it can be. I've been a recipient of that. But it's very good, you know, love. And everything that led to this day, I think, is just a demonstration of their commitment, a commitment to excellence. I've seen that firsthand. Through this journey that we've done on digital, we've been fortunate that the banks have been the first adopters of this technology. So we're having to interact with several banks in this period over the last 3 months or so. And as you do that, you start to see the DNA of each bank. Of course, all of the banks are customers, so we love every single one of them. And we do also love GTB. But thank you very much, I would say, for that support and you know, the journey that we've gone through together. So ultimately, I think that by the time the offer is announced, the Group CEO, GTB, had said very clearly, if this offer is not approved just yet, I would also leave the advisors to speak to that. But once that happens, we expect that the nation should really feel the impact of a lot of the work that we've done together, both as NGX with the issuer that complements the work we've done with several other banks. The final I should do is also just thank again several people who've contributed to that journey of where we are right now. I see the CEO of CSCS here, Mr. Jalo Waziri, extremely very strong supporter. You know, people, well, actually now I'm a bit conflicted speaking about CSCS, but people forget that the real heart of the market is the CSCS. It doesn't matter what you do on the NGX. This company holds the key. How do you settle? How do you move shares? Where do those shares sit? And all of that technology infrastructure, it has to work well. And we've enjoyed tremendous support from CSCS, where normally, you know, conversations that should be difficult, we've all just decided as a market to put them aside and build toward the day that we have today. So that's been very, very helpful. And many of our stakeholders, many intermediaries that really have just come through to say, look, let's create a market that ultimately, in a way, can start to take its place. Finally, of course, is the SSA.